Take my hand and hold it tight. Look at the paintings, I'll be your guide. Ay, nako.
Days before they all went out on vacation at the same time.
Оно все такое грандиозное.
Bite it. Bite in two. Cut in two. No, so, which nuts are you allergic to? Or all of them?
All of them besides pecans.
Oh, no pecan here. Okay. So all nuts. Hazelnut. Do you have enough people? A box of Isabel, please.
No nuts, right?
No nuts. Purchase, I think. Yeah, I'll look at it. I got someone on the table too. Now, so this is okay. The last one, and the one I like. Layer is. My mom used to say, it's not his line.
Hazelnut and fruity, like this. This is praline speculoos, praline jasmine, praline ambré, praline cream chocolate and smoke hazelnut and smoke. This is biscuit, praline hazelnut. This is
Again.
Welcome on board Flixbus 819, destination Bruges. Please listen to the following information, it is important for you. A little bit of the atomium. One of the things that Brussels is famous for, of course. There it is. Basically, it's a load of balls. So that's where you need to go in, to go through, or to have something to eat and drink. And as I say, this is the place, area, where you will get your continuation bus.
The guy with the big motorcycle in the front here.
Ah, yeah.
to